please welcome to the stage Presidential Diamond, Dani Smith.
Hello, everyone. I'm kind of sad I'm toward the end because I know what all of you are thinking right now. I'm hungry, I'm tired, and my flight maybe leaves in a couple of minutes. So hopefully what I have to say today will give you a ton of value. So I'm going to talk today on the secret of getting unstuck. This summer, I went to a diamond retreat, and some of the diamonds that are in the room will remember this picture that was shown. And I was like, dude, this was a perfect representation of how I was feeling in my business the last few years. Anyone else here feel that way? Okay. So there's some of you that didn't raise your hand. First of all, I probably don't believe you, but if you're not feeling this at all, just go ahead and check Facebook. Okay, go get a drink. But for those of you that are, hopefully I'll be able to help. You know, sometimes it makes me laugh, and sometimes I just want to cry. Like the things that have happened over the years, the people that have quit on me. I like to joke around that sometimes my team looks like the days of our lives. You know what I'm talking about? And the reality is, in different phases of your business, you're going to feel more stuck than others. But one thing that I have learned after doing this for 10 years, and it's a lesson that always repeats itself, is that I am the only one that can get myself unstuck. So, when I started feeling really stuck this last year, I took my own advice and I started attending all the trainings, kind of getting out of management mode, sharpening my skills, doing all the things. Really just getting out there and working my tail off. And the craziest thing happened, you guys. Nothing. No joke. This was my weekly classes. Well, this really isn't my basement. True story is, this is some perfect Pinterest basement that was cleaned. I actually went downstairs to take a picture of my basement for you because who actually documents the classes that no one shows up to? And I'm pretty sure my 6 kids lit a bomb down there, so I just shut the door, put on some Serenity, and then Googled. So here you go. It kind of looks like my basement. But after one of these classes, my son came downstairs, and his room is kind of in the back corner of the basement, and he comes down, he's like sneaking by, and he turns, and he's like, whoa, Mom, no one's coming to your classes. Yep, thanks, Spencer. Thanks for pointing that out. I sat there that day, though, and I was like, I have to change something. This was not working for me like it used to. I had to do something different. I had to figure out how to pivot. Here's the biggest realization that I made. I was missing a huge pipe activity. See, at first I thought it must be the P in prepare, okay? What does P even mean? Well, if you watch all of the videos on Empowered Success, we set our goals, we use the product, we become a solutions provider, and then we start connecting with our prospects and you build your pipeline. It sounds really easy, right? But how? Well, you need a names list. Elise talked about it a little bit. See, that names list that we tell all of you to make when you launch your business, it's only going to get you so far. So for me, inviting the same people from my names list that hadn't enrolled yet, it wasn't working, guys. There had to be something else that I was missing. Now, don't get me wrong, brainstorming your friends and family to connect with will for sure jumpstart your business. But at some point, you're going to feel like that stuck cow in the first picture if you aren't working on this critical part of your business. So I'm going to make it really simple for you. Building your pipeline doesn't start with P. It starts with N. You know, it's funny, on every Empowered Success graphic, there's always this big wide world over there. Do you guys see it? It's kind of light on the screen. Before there, and it has all these little people on it, right? But I've never really focused there. In fact, in all of our videos, we even talk about the N. See, the N is how. How are you going to keep your business growing? How are you going to get unstuck? This will literally be a game changer for you if you are intentional about making it a part of your daily business routine. So what is it? Yes, the N is network. It's you interacting with others to exchange information and develop contacts. Notice it's a verb. It's an actual action step. See, the reason why I was so stuck in my business is I wasn't out networking. Remember, your network feeds your names list. If you only have a names list of people that you know in your warm market, I will guarantee you right now that you're going to hit a plateau unless you were highly networked before doTERRA. But if you're like me, I wasn't. I didn't hit diamond in 10 days. You guys, how does that even happen? I don't even know. It took me 8 years to hit presidential diamond. 8. So some of you that started 2 years ago and you're like, this isn't going fast enough, 8 years. I didn't even learn how to post on Instagram until about 6 months ago. That's embarrassing, I know. But if I wanted to get unstuck, I had to get out there and I had to find more people. So I also quickly realized that this wasn't just a me problem. I wasn't teaching my teams how to network either. We must teach our teams to network, not just to teach classes. See, for some of you, this skill comes really naturally. But for others, this is a skill that has to be developed. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter how skilled you are at teaching classes and enrolling. If your basement is empty, you're not going anywhere fast. So not only did I need to teach my team to network, I also needed to turn up the flow and fast. I want you guys to think of an imaginary spigot before your pipeline. You get to control how fast the water flows or how slow it flows. And I realized my spigot was almost completely turned off. Yet I was getting super frustrated that I wasn't seeing the progress that I had hoped for. You have complete control over how fast you go. And it's directly dependent on how fast you are turning up your networking flow. So I want you to think, it's true. I want you to think, how fast is the flow in your pipe right now? Just really think about that. Okay, if it's not flowing fast, how can we turn up the flow? So you can actually start seeing some results more quickly. So there's 2 things that I have learned over the last year that have absolutely brought momentum back to me and my team, and I'm going to share them with you. The first is making networking lists, and the second is networking with my strengths. Okay, so what the heck is a networking list? It's a list of ideas that you use on a monthly or weekly basis to help keep flow in your pipe. So here's how it works. You make a list of 100 different ways to network or recruit. Pretty much, how are you going to find people to enroll? Then you're going to pick 5 different ways to network each month. And this is my role. Teaching classes can only be one way, because if that's all you have on your list, your pipe is not going to grow very fast. Think of it. If you fill your calendar with 2 classes per week, which is a fabulous idea, after you've invited everyone from your names list and hoped you've booked enough classes from classes, you'll probably get stuck. You also have to be out there doing other activities besides just teaching classes. Okay? Then you're going to set your goal for each area, and then you're going to evaluate. So let me show you what it looks like for my team. First, after making your networking list of 100 different ways to network, I suggest that you star the top 10 that you get the most excited about. Katie just talked about your fun meter, right? What are the ones that sound like a ton of fun, right? Then you create a plan on how you will do the networking activities that you just picked. You can do this weekly or monthly, depending on what works best for you. For me and my leaders, we fill this form out every month. And then we work together to come up with a plan by the 5th of each month. And this is what it might look like. So they pick 5 ways to get out and network during the month. Then we set goals for each way that they picked. So do you want to approach chiropractic offices? How many? Do you want to attend a local meetup group? Great idea. How many times a week are you going to attend? The other key thing here is deciding on what you're going to need to be successful. It may be a script on how to approach a chiropractor. Maybe it's a babysitter twice a week while you're actually attending your meetup group. Then always make sure you evaluate after. Did it work? If it didn't, cross it off your list, because it's probably not going to work in the future. Now, the next thing was networking with our strengths. We heard Laura Jacobs share a little bit about this, but this is something I'm very passionate about. Before you go out and try and brainstorm your 100 networking list, this is so important. So you might be wondering why the heck Justin Harrison hasn't already given us the master list of 100 ways to network, right? Come on, Justin, get with it. Now remember, we are all different. And to be the most successful, you have to use your strengths to network where your energy is the highest. Okay, here's the thing. I think that we all have this idea of the perfect duplication model. I mean, isn't this what a pipe in doTERRA looks like? Then we give you this perfect formula. We've heard it a couple times today. If you invite 100, 45 will come, 15 will enroll, and you found your 3 people, right? Well, what if that hasn't happened for some of you? What if you've enrolled 50 and still can't find a builder? Or you've had 45 people show up and are really having a hard time getting somebody enrolled. I mean, this perfect pipe just clearly isn't working for you, right? You should probably just quit now. Of course not. Clearly, you need to evaluate your skill level of inviting and enrolling. However, at some point, you're simply going to run out of people to invite no matter how skilled you are in these other areas. So even though we think pipes looks like this perfect duplication model, this is what pipes really looks like. It has issues, guys. It's not perfect. Some parts don't look good. Other parts are hanging in there. It's that little part right there. And here's what I have learned over the years. There are so many different shapes of pipes. But guess what, guys? These are all pipes. So I want you to, right now, at this moment, redefine what you think duplication is. See, I used to think that I had to do everything the same way that other people did it. So the people that I was working with would know exactly how to duplicate what I was doing. Duplication is not you doing exactly what I am doing to grow my business. I can never be Natalie Goddard or Elise Chedevy. I can, however, be Dani, and you can be you. The actions or activities we must do to be successful will never change. However, the way that you do them will look different for everyone. And the sooner you can embrace that for you and your team, the more momentum you're going to see. So how do we do this? You must be networking where your energy is the highest. You can get a great idea of where to start just by diving into your strengths. Now, I can guarantee that there's some people in this room that have not taken this test yet. And you have to. It's a game changer. Also, I can guarantee that there's some people in this room that have not unlocked all 34 strengths. You must today. On a quick side note, I will tell you that when my husband and I finally unlocked all 34 of our strengths, which was just like last year, I could totally make sense of my life. See, I'm a #1 activator, and Ryan is a 34 activator. Yep, it all made sense. See, I'm already on to my 10th new project before Ryan decided to activate on the 1st. So I'm telling you, if for nothing else, open all 34 for your marriage. But in all seriousness, this has to be something that you do. And it's so important for me to recognize within my own team. Using your dominant domain to discover how you should be networking will change everything. See, what I would do to network is going to be different than my team members. And I have spent so many years trying to teach them how to go find people the way that I would. For example, I would have no problem right now walking down the street to a business and approaching them about doTERRA. I don't even think that I'd need to have materials in my hand. I just feel comfortable doing that. However, one of my front line legit goes into fetal position when I mention this idea to her. See, my dominant domain is influence, and hers is relationship building. And what I've learned is that she may never go into a business to approach them about doTERRA. However, she networks in different ways. Like, I'm pretty sure with one trip to the grocery store, she's met a new friend just while standing in the checkout line. She's probably even got them to take off their shoes and applied oils to the bottoms of their feet. I would quite possibly rather drive off of a cliff. Like, I'm at the grocery store to get bread, people, okay? But it works for her. And in fact, it not only works for her, she is brilliant at it. She needs to be her. I need to be me. And together, we are both still networking. So I'm going to wrap up by showing you an idea of my networking list. Now remember, this is my list. It's playing to my strengths. But this will give you an idea of how you can start yours and hopefully get your brain rolling. On your flight home today or your long drive, I want you to get out your pen and start writing. So grab your phones. I'm going to go through this quick. Okay. This is my list. Maybe. This is my list up until 55. Snap a picture. Okay. And this is the rest of my list. Okay, so you guys are going to get pretty stuck after you try to start this. I usually right around 40 is when people kind of start to panic. Okay, there's going to be a lot of brainstorming that has to happen, but you can get to 100, and it's going to be so nice to have this tool every single month as you plan, and you can get it out and start doing that an activity. So in closing, I just want you to remember that your success is directly dependent on your commitment to networking. And if you schedule this super important activity into your month, at least monthly, if not weekly, your pipe will not get stuck. And you'll see more success than you have ever imagined. Thank you.